So hello everyone and welcome to more How Good Are. Today, Rena-chan and the horse. Oh no, I already spoiled we're gonna talk about. Well, we're gonna talk about Rena-chan idol version. There isn't a regular version, that this is the only version there is of Rena-chan, but we're gonna talk about Rena-chan idol version. A character that sadly we weren't able to get on an American server because this was actually a really funny event that I'm gonna have to talk about in one of my videos. We're gonna do catching up on JP. In general, all the Manga Report events were all really funny and kind of a blast to look through, but like I said, we're gonna have to do a video about that. But more importantly, the character. So, is she actually good, or is she as useless as regular Rena? Well, first off, she is not an Excel gorilla, so that is already a really bad sign, but maybe we can save it. She doesn't have a personal. Okay, it's getting harder to save this character. She has really good attack and HP, and her HP and defense are kind of bad, actually, kind of average, a little bit between average and bad, sort of in that lower area, but attack is really awesome. I think the stats are very similar to regular Arena, of course. The connect starts with an attack up, of course, gotta have that, but then it has Excel MP gain up, which is good for Magia teams, and then it has crit. And these two are for like exactly two different types of teams. The Excel MP gain up is good for Magia teams, but the crit is good for exactly teams that aren't Magia teams. So on one hand you can say, oh, can't you just only do stuff for Magia teams so that Magia teams become way better? But on the other hand you could say, oh no, forget about Magia, can't you just do more stuff for like not Magia teams, like Blast teams maybe, I don't know, Charge teams, who knows. You have two Charge discs, don't you? Yeah, do something for Charge teams or whatever. But no, she does, here's something for the Excel team and here's something for the non-Excel teams. You can't really make much use of both of them at once unless you somehow play an Excel team where you play for doing damage with your Excel discs. Like if you somehow have a team setup where you're trying to kill enemies with Excel disc and not Magia, then I guess having critical hit would be really good for that. But aside from that, let's move on to the actual Magia, because this is, we know from regular Arena that she's all about getting that Magia out and then buffing herself and getting more Magia out. A very selfish Magia, but still a Magia that can be hitting quite hard. But now, it seems like Rena-chan is more of a team player, as you would expect, since she's the star frontrunner of the idol team, the Kamiha Magica. They also won the Kami Fest with. Awesome. Although it wasn't actually her that won that, it was Iroha, but we're gonna have to get to that in the story section. What does it actually do? Attribute strength for damage one enemy? Yeah, whatever, it's still single target. Doesn't really matter too much. Like I said, yeah, it's attribute strengthened. It's gonna blow up some enemy fire types. Awesome, because she's water type. That's cool. But what about the effects? Magia damage up. It's the only effect on it. But, and here's the thing. You know, regular Rena, I always said, oh, she's so bad because she's so egotistical about her playstyle, and she should have played more for a team, and that would have made her a way better character. Here's Rena-chan, the team player, going in and Magia damage up to all allies. Amazing, look at that, all allies. How many other characters in this game can do Magia damage up to all allies on their Magia? None. None other characters in the entire game can do that. There are some that give it to themselves, but no other character in the game can give that to every other character on the field, to all allies, the Magia damage up, which makes Rena-chan already a very unique character, and that, hey, we actually have a character here who does something cool, something unique. Awesome. More characters like this, please. That said, is it actually powerful? Yes. If you're playing a full Excel Magia team, this will actually be really powerful, and of course, if you play that Excel team with the Connect, you'll be able to help other people in your team get to Magia faster. They can help Rena-chan as well. And you can buff your entire team with Magia damage up. That is really good. This is probably a very important character for the Fire Kimochi, where you can, of course, on one hand have the attribute strength and damage, but more importantly, you have that buff to keep buffing everyone for Magia damage up, and it's gonna hit really hard. Everyone's Magia is gonna hit really hard. Even the support Magias are gonna suddenly hit for billions of damage. What about the Spirit Enhancement though? Is the Spirit Enhancement gonna focus even more on this, or is it gonna do something different? Well, sadly it's kind of a bit of the latter. So it gives anti-evade and evade. Evade is fine, but anti-evade is more so like using Magia. Like, your winning strategy is to use Magia, so anti-evade doesn't really matter much. Justice damage up, okay, doesn't really matter much. 2 Magia damage ups, that's fine. Then Excel MP gain up and critical hit in 1. it might as well have been 2 notes, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so she has 20% crit herself, which is good, but once again, you're gonna try, like, most of your damage is gonna come from Magia, so crit of course helps. It's better to have crit than not to have crit, don't get me wrong on that, but I'd still rather have other stuff, like another Magia damage up here would probably have even been better. Or guess what? An actual MP gain up, because you only get the Excel MP gain up and nothing else. She's higher passive crit chance than any other girl. I think that is true, actually. Most other girls have 15%, she gets 20. That's really something that you can note down, especially with her having a really high attack, so her discs will actually hit really hard. What else do we have? We have her active gives attack up, 15%. It's not a lot, and it does aim resistance, 25% to self, but it lasts for 3 whole turns, both of those effects. That's actually also pretty amazing, especially if you do combos of multiple Magia in a row. You can get this attack up bonus multiple times, and that's really good. And you want to do combos of Magia anyway to get as many of these Magia damage up stacks as you can. So overall, she's actually really good. She actually works really well in a Magia team. Keep in mind though that she's all about that damage. She's there to buff people's damage and get people to Magia. She doesn't defend people at all. She doesn't heal. She doesn't debuff enemies. She doesn't do anything else. She doesn't do anything else really. She just hits hard with her discs and buffs Magia with her Magia. But if you have a team where that fits in really nicely, she'll actually be pretty good. Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, can we keep up? Can we keep up with another really good character? Well, we're gonna have to figure that out. Next up, we have Hikaru, who has 2 Excellers, 2 Blasters. Okay, once again, what does that actually mean for her? Well, she's a support type, so probably not that much. So because she's a support type, she's probably gonna have really, really bad stats. And I mean, yeah, they're not that great. Stats once again, kind of middle of the road, kind of average. What about her personal? It's terrible. Now, some people might say to me, for example, when you look at a Memoria like this, and you think to yourself, hey, maybe there's a quest where an enemy is about to use their Magia on me. Having a Memoria like this would be able to make it so I will definitely survive, right? Also, by the way, I talk about Magia damage. Magia damage increases also the Doppel damage, because Doppel counts as a type of Magia. So Doppel damage gets also increased with Magia damage up. When you look at a Memoria like this and you want to use it on an enemy that is about to use their Magia to survive the Magia, that sounds good, but Quellbloom does the same against every enemy, and it also lowers defense. Why not just use Quellbloom? If you have Quellbloom, like if you have Meteor Rain, why not just use Meteor Rain? Like if you don't have Meteor Rain and you need another effect to use against a single target Magia, then sure, I guess. But if you have Quellbloom, like if you have Meteor Rain, it's way better than this in every instance, and that is why every single active Memoria that gives attack down or damage down or something similar like that, they all have to contend with the fact that they're just really, really bad compared to Meteor Rain. And that's why I don't like personals or just in general actors like that. What about her Connect though? Her Connect gives bonuses to all discs. Cool. We have 2 bonuses for Blast discs and 1 bonus for Excel discs. Awesome. Sadly, no bonus for Charge disc in here. Does that make her Connect good or bad? Well, it's gonna be useful no matter what you do. So you connect and then you're gonna use 2 other discs unless you use a Magia, which of course this doesn't buff in any way. But if you use this on someone and they use 2 other discs, you have 3 discs, they all get buffed. No matter what they are, they're gonna get buffed. Unless they're Charge discs, but who uses Charge discs? Right, no one uses Charge discs. So the Blast is gonna be better, the XL is gonna be better. And they're getting the usual buff that other characters might give as well, which is like 80% or somewhere between 40% or 50% on the XLMP gain up and the blast damage up. So these effects at least are in line with what they are for other characters. But I still don't think that all-round connects are usually that good, because you're usually playing one specific strategy. If I, for example, want to take her into Kimoji, I'm going to play, for example, a Blast strategy. I'm going to play a Blast strategy, the XLMP gain up is going to be kind of useless, and the charge damage up might be kind of useless as well, depending on what discs I get. So 2 of these effects might be completely useless, and then literally anyone else who has a similar Blast connect with also attack up on it, like even Tsuruno, would be a way better connect. What about if you're using a Excel strategy, for example? Well, then your blast damage up and maybe potentially your charge damage up, those are also going to be useless. So unless you play a strategy where you're trying to use every single disc for some reason, then you're always going to be sitting on being able to only use like 1 or 2 of these effects. And you might think to yourself, man, if I just had a connect that just focused really hard on doing this one specific thing, then it would be better. So, jack of all trades, master of none. What about the manga though? Is that a similar thing? It gives chance to critical hit to all allies, 3 turns, 30%. That sounds good. That sounds good until you realize that most characters in their spirit enhancement, like most attack focused characters that want to crit, have crit already in their spirit enhancement. Only 15% usually, but even so, 15% to 30% is only an increase of 15%, so basically giving everyone a 15% higher chance to crit. And if someone has friends, for example, it goes from 25% to 30%. That's only a 5% increase. That's barely anything. So even though it sounds awesome on paper, people who want to crit usually already get crit through some other means. And since crit doesn't stack, it only takes the highest chance that you have. This actually ends up not being as powerful as it might seem. What about the ailment resistance? Well, the ailment resistance can be quite useful sometimes. But here's the thing, now we have a Magia where the crit is mostly not going to be that important and the status resistance up is sometimes good. Nothing in here is like always awesome or like strictly good or just does something to help you in every situation. Which kind of makes this, and even in the situation where it helps, it's only decent, only alright, only somewhat good. So sadly not quite the Magia we're looking for either. At least got a funny name, is a Go Forth Hikaru Army Corps. Awesome. She's got an army with her, you see there's an army, the Hikaru Army Corps. More importantly though, her spirit enhancement, because isn't that what we're all here for, the spirit enhancement? Well, she's got a bunch of MP boosts, okay. She's got a blast damage up, a blast damage up, a blast damage up. She's got more blast damage ups than most other blast characters, including, of course, Cool Homura, because Cool Homura has absolutely no damage for some reason. And another Excel gain up in the middle of that. I don't know why she's got so much blast damage up. I mean, her attack isn't even that great, and she only has 2 blast discs. For someone who only has 2 blast discs with mediocre attack, why are there 3 blast up bonuses in here? I'm not quite sure. But they are here. We're just gonna have to deal with the fact that they're here now. Also some damage cut, some skill quicken because she's a support. Oops, accidentally clicked that. Some skill quicken in here, okay. Some chance of darkness on attack, well, it's something nice to have. But nothing in here is specifically super duper powerful or important or amazingly useful in most cases. But it's just stuff that is nice to have. And for some reason 3 blast ups. I don't know why. And then she also has an active, of course, which gives damage up 30% for 1 turn. That's good. That's good if you want to have a burst turn. I guess if you want to deal damage with your Magia, or someone else connects with you and you want to do some really good hits, and maybe you actually are playing her in a blast strategy, and you have other characters connects to her. That would be a waste, actually, because you're overcapping on blast ups. But let's just say you're having other characters that give her a really good damage up, attack up, connect. You can pop concentrate as well, getting a blast combo, pull up blast combo with all of this blast up. That's gonna hit quite hard, so that's something you could potentially do, but other characters can kind of do that as well. She's just quite okay at that. And then it also evade to self. Most people already know that it gives evade to self because either you've seen it in mirrors or you've played literally any EX challenge quest that features a Hikaru, because in absolutely every single EX challenge quest that I remember, Hikaru will always buff herself with evade. Most of the time, 100% evade on every single turn. Awesome. So overall, she's kind of a hybrid between support and attacker with the blast discs, being a support with the Excel discs, which is different from what we sometimes see with other characters that are supports with blast discs, because there are some support with blast discs that don't actually want to use those discs themselves, but instead they have some sort of connect that gives these blast discs to other people. For example, well, actually Kazumi also hits hard herself, but Kazumi's connect is more so about giving the blast discs away to other people so that they can hit really, really hard. While Hikaru is more of an all-rounder who can, if needed, attack herself with her own blast discs, while if needed she can also support with her Excel discs to get to Magia. However, a connect is unfocused and her Magia's effects are not that great at all, actually kind of bad. So overall, she could have used some work in actually taking one path and focusing on that one path, that one thing that she needs to do, instead of branching out everywhere and not really helping anyone specifically well. Which I guess kind of also fits into her lore as being like the subservient servant, slave kind of, to help everyone. And if you want to help everyone, you end up pleasing no one. That was it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. I'll see you guys next time.